Good morning. It's just clicking over to afternoon. It's noon on the 5th of July, and we're still in Lake Ohio. It has been raining hardcore here for several minutes, and the wind is back, and big thunder and lightning. The air conditioning's still running like crazy. God, this has got to be the worst summer weather I can ever remember here. I've got multiple lawns to mow that still look like hell, and they're soaking wet, and it's hot and it's humid, and I'm not going to stop bitching until it's over because this is just ridiculous. I was in California for 2 weeks. I didn't see a drop of rain. I've been here for, what, 2 or 3 days, and we've had gallons. Rain's starting to slow down. It's been about half an hour. Streets are flooded. Their driveway's flooded. Look at that. Water's not supposed to run along there like that, or down the driveway. Over in the lawn, that's the one I've got to mow. Right up against the foundation, that's brilliant. And displacing all the mulch. So I've been working on some pretty nerdy stuff that I'll show you in a minute. The rains have kind of subsided for now. In fact, these are the first shadows I've seen all day. The patio's drying out. Water in the back was all the way up where it was yesterday, plus some. I just went out here in the backyard and that low point where the grass dips down. The water was into that about 2 inches, which is as much as I've ever seen it before. When it touches the grass level, that's as far as it gets. So now that it's stopped, I'm going to head to the post office here shortly. I've got a couple errands. I got to hit the bank, post office, grocery store for a few things. But I'll show you what I worked on last night and now today. When it rains like this, I don't know what else to do with myself, so I sit down and do stupid stuff like this. So I keep some folders docked down here. Applications, documents, and downloads. Great place to just easy access. It used to be standard in OS X. I don't think it is anymore, but I keep them there. I also have kept a folder on the desktop where all the BMW stuff is. The E39 source files, the public Dropbox, the private Dropbox, the info PDFs, my master files that show all the history of the car's service and parts. All of that stuff is easily accessible. So I thought, you know, it'd be easier if I don't have it on the desktop and I put it down here in the dock so I could just access it in a stack and get our logos and local parts inventory. I have a full inventory of every single spare BMW part that's in this house by part number, and it's pretty pervasive. We've got part number, quantity, the condition, is it new or used, a description, and then known parts or known applications of that part. So the first one on here is quantity 4. They're used hex bolts. They're E46 rear shock upper mount bolts. So I've got 4 of those. So when I'm looking to order something, I can just copy it, paste it in here in the search function, and see if I've got it. I have a total of 610 parts in stock on hand. Anyways, I put it down here, and the folder looked weird next to the other logos. Is it going to focus for me? Not really. But I made a BMW logo folder in as close as I can get to that factory, to that default style of, like, if you go into the root of the drive and you start looking at these folders, they all have a little icon for them. So let's see if I can actually view this one in Finder. Right there. So I made the little embossed BMW logo, and it's really close. It isn't perfect, but it's pretty close. So if I go into here, I go into the logo folders, go into BMW and open it as a PNG. There we go, that's much cleaner. So there's actually more going on here than you think. So first thing, you need the logo you want to do in a vector form. You can't do this with a raster graphic, or you probably could, you wouldn't want to though. This stuff's vector graphics. Firstly though, I had to go and find out where OS X stores all of the little folder icons, and I found that in a nice 1024 square resolution. So I guess I am still rasterizing all of this, but I like to start with the vector, get it sized, and then rasterize it. So I have the effects pretty copyable now. If you want me to make something, PayPal me a couple bucks and I'll put it together and move the effects over for you. How about that? Little business plan. But it's got to be black-white, so we can't have any definitions in colors. So I use the wand tool to take all the white out of it. I don't remember if contiguous is on or off, but whatever selects all the white on that layer. Delete it, do a color overlay, then we do a bevel and emboss on it, then we do a shadow from the top, and then we do a gradient over the whole thing. See how it's darker at the top than the bottom? And then it gives that look that it's been like stamped into the folder, and it I don't know, it looks really clean. I really like it. So I did BMW and I did Ferrari, and then for Joe I did Porsche. So we'll get a closer look at the Ferrari one. I haven't gone as anal yet as figuring out how many pixels they go down from the top of the folder and up from the bottom of the folder. I could do that so it'd be a little bit more perfect. And I think my my gradient needs to be a little bit stronger and be a little lighter at the bottom, so I can work on that. And then I found an older Porsche logo in black and white. It's just a .eps or a .ai Adobe Illustrator vector file. And we come up with something like that. I think it might be, Joe said it might be their older 80s logo. But kind of adds a nice little bit of pizzazz, and I hate having a desktop full of files. I keep my desktop very clean, and I think that adds a nice touch. Yeah, don't chew the carpet. It's bad. Nobody wants a carpet munching pussycat. So I put the door up and it made a terrible sound. It's still working, but something's pretty loose, and I think I can see the problem from the ground. That looks like a good bit of play right in that bolt and nut combo. So I'm going to tighten that up. It's also really skeezy up here, and the light cover is completely full of bugs. Everything up there was loose and is now very tight. I got like 6 turns out of that one bolt. This bulb looks like it's wrapped in plastic. It's one of those rough service bulbs, so they have this on there. I don't know if I should leave it or peel it. I assume it's not flammable, but taking it off might make the bulb shatter. I don't know. When we put regular bulbs in there, they only last a few days before they explode. So I don't feel like dealing with that. Got pieces of the ceiling on the floor from that thing shaking so violently. Here's the light cover. Remember many years ago, the light bulb was too big, burned a hole in it, and then it all shattered and came down on top of the car when I was cleaning it. Who remembers that vlog? Look at the stuff that was in there though. That's repulsive. Ugh, I'm gonna wash it out. It is still going. I don't know how many hours this is today. There's been a couple of dry patches, but it's still raining and at a pretty good clip. I don't know, just kind of feels like a rainforest. Kind of feels like we live in Bikini Bottom underwater. It's really, really old at this point. It's supposed to get a couple of dry days, but it's after midnight, so later today was supposed to be one of them. We'll see. It's really discouraging because I've got to do 2 lawns, and with the amount of rain we've gotten, today's rain I heard on the news was 3 inches an hour. And it's not like it kept up all day or anything, but we got, I would venture a guess, at 6 inches of rain today probably. So it's just going to be really unpleasant when I go to cut these, because I'm going to have to wait several days at this point. And when I wait several days, they're only going to grow higher. So I'm thinking my plan of attack will be to raise the mower 1 or 2 adjustment points, mow each one, then lower the mower 1 or 2 adjustment points and mow them again the next day or 2 days later, and just have to bill it as 2 cuts. Because it's the perfect storm of a shit show that I get delayed, I come back late, and then it rains non-stop for 3 days. Stupid. So today was a day of mostly inside stuff. I shipped stuff. I went to the grocery store, I went to the bank, I went to the post office, I went to all these different places. It felt like it was 1920 Massachusetts or something today, running around the little small town doing the errands. Sabrina, Ken, and Jeff were here tonight for a bit, played some GTA, ate leftover pizza, and now it's bedtime. So tomorrow's Friday, we have fireworks tomorrow night the city of Hudson's putting on. If it's not in the middle of a deluge, not supposed to be, but who knows. All of this stuff comes out of nowhere. So you look at the radar, and 50 miles to the west, dry. They haven't gotten any of this rain. It all just pops out of nowhere right over me, pretty much. Where Megan is, 25 miles from here, dry. But here, 6 inches of rain. So that's the way it goes. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on Friday. Good night.